Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. This is Creepy Tales. I am George Lunsford, and I am the caretaker. Tonight, we're going to look at a creature that gives me the creeps, to be real honest with you. I don't know if it's because of what it is or because I'm an Aries, but it's called the Goatman. Now, this thing don't just live in one state or one country, actually, by the look of it. This thing creeps around in Kentucky and Maryland, Texas, Wisconsin, and London, England. Now, I don't know how he made that jump across the water. It must have some hellacious legs that he can jump that far. But we'll see. We'll start off with the Pope monster out of Kentucky. Now, this Pope monster supposedly is part man, part goat, and part sheep. I don't know how they get that combination, but hey, you know, what happens, happens. I ain't got no part of it. This thing apparently lives under a railroad trestle that goes over top of Pope Lick Creek in Fisherville, right around Fisherville neighborhood in Louisville, Kentucky. I've never been there, but I've seen several shows about this one. Now, he was on, I won't mention the name of the shows, but he's been on several TV shows that went over this one, and I don't know if they really did it justice or what, but I'm going to tell you a little bit about this thing. It's considered an urban legend, like most of the stuff we talk about, but I think this thing uses hypnosis and or mimicking voices to lure the trespassers and stuff in. And I was reading some other stuff about it, and they say they had a report from one of the victims that escaped, and they constantly tell about hearing a baby cry or a woman asking for help. Well, when this happens, you know, they go in to investigate it. They go in to see if they can help, and this Goatman jumps out with an axe and starts whacking the daylights out of them. Kind of interesting. They believe it could be maybe an escaped circus freak from back in the day, you know, back when they used to have circus freaks around the zoos, the circuses. They think it could be a reincarnated form of a farmer who sacrificed goats. They don't really know what this thing is. And they believe it has satanic powers. That's this one. Now, this guy here, this Pope Lick monster, is supposedly 8 foot tall. Now, I don't know about you, but if I see an 8 foot tall man with horns, looks like a goat, I don't think he can catch me. But this thing, you know, he's been around for quite a long time. Man, I don't know. I can't really find the dates on him. I know it goes back a long ways, but I'm not sure exactly how far it does go back. The fact is, in 1988, they made a film about it called The Legend of the Pope Lick Monster. 16-minute long, $6,000 film, premiered on December 29th of 1988 at an Uptown theater. And most of the film was actually shot under the trestle. So, you know, I don't know what the deal was, but that's what it says. And this thing, he's pretty busy from the look of it. He shakes the trestle. He's been able to shake a trestle. That's pretty good. And they've actually got warnings out, and they got things posted so people don't go under that trestle because they don't know what's going on with this. Well, I think that's about enough of this Pope Lick monster. We'll let him go rest for a while. Now I think we need to take a look at the Texas version of this. They call it the Lake Worth monster. He's part man and part goat. That makes sense. He's been seen around Lake Worth, just outside of Fort Worth, Texas. Now, see, this one I don't really get, because they say he's a man and a goat, but he has fur and scales. Now, I don't know about you, but I ain't never seen a goat with scales. I ain't never seen a human with scales. I got some dry skin, but I ain't scaly. Not like what we're talking about. Well, apparently this happened around July 1969. I believe this creature lived there, and there was never anything really seen. There was one witness. It's a man who claimed that the creature landed on top of his car, jumped out of a tree and landed on it. Which, why would a goat man be up a tree? It makes no sense. This is one of those things where you look at it and you go, he's lying. Come to find out, they believe now that it was hoaxed by a bunch of teenagers. So, but if you go on the internet, of course, like everything else on the internet, you can find pictures of this thing. This one, the Lake Worth monster, I kind of don't really believe much about it. I think that one's pretty much hokum. That could just be me. Well, let's look at this thing over towards Wisconsin. It's called, they got a Goatman. Apparently this he's been around for a long time. He's been around since like 1870. That's how far the reports go. I'm more likely to believe this one just simply because of it has a longer reports on it, and there's more reports about it. There's been travelers rode down this road. It's called Old Hog's Back Road. Apparently it's out in the middle of nowhere from the look of the road I see here, and it's this is ironic. It's near a creepy Catholic cemetery or sanctuary. Sanctuary. I can't read today. I'm sorry. I apologize. It's near a sanctuary in Holly Hill, and apparently this Holly Hill place had multiple reports of monsters and ghosts and all kinds of creepy stuff. I have found in all my research that anything has to do with anything that's old time Catholic. Nothing against the Catholics. I think you guys are great. My wife's Catholic, but I gotta tell you, you've got some creepy crap happening around your stuff, especially the older stuff. There's some bad juju there. But anyway, back to Goatman. There's been lots of disturbances on this road. There's been local legends that tell about the earliest thing describes this Goatman as half man, half goat. Makes sense. The upper body is man with horns and sharp fangs. The lower body is goat with long, stringy red hair. The only problem I have with this, why does he have fangs? I've never seen a goat with fangs. So why does it? I mean, if it's a sadistic creature that's been put here by Satan, I can see why it has fangs and the red hair. Because I dated redheads before and they kind of evil. Anyway, no, I'm just kidding. I'm sorry, redhead people. But anyway, this thing stalks and attacks road down travelers and what they call back road lovers. Now, I ain't assuming anything, but if there's a monster back there, don't take your date on the back roads. Go to a hotel or something. Don't go to the back roads because you get her eat, and not in a happy way. So anyhow, we won't go there. And this thing has been brutally mangling these victims, and just leaving their bodies swinging upside down in the trees like wind chimes. I mean, this guy's got some issues. I mean, I can't imagine running into this thing. I know one thing, I'd definitely be ready to rock and roll if I met him in the dark alley or in the backwoods. Let's see if we can, if I can find that report I was going to read to you about it. It's an interesting thing. But this thing's been a while since 1870. I have a tendency to believe the ones that go back that far, especially ones that are around anything like an old sanctuary, around an old graveyard, out and away from everybody else. Because I have been noticing with these monsters and these ghosts and everything else that they have a tendency to stay back there. They're not as noticeable, I guess is what I should say. And ain't nobody wants to go back over where they're at because they're afraid they'll get eat. So, makes sense to me. I wouldn't want to go back there and deal with this dude. It's not really going into a lot of detail. I'm not finding a lot of eyewitness reports, but I do see that this guy's just creepy. I mean, he's ripping their insides out and then hangs them, like I said, from the trees like a big old wind chime. It's kind of creepy. Well, I don't really see. I can't really get a lot more information about the Wisconsin one. So now let's go on to the one in London. I'll hit it real quick because there's not a lot of information on him either. He lives in London, supposedly, down around a river bend under the metropolis itself, which is over near, I cannot pronounce any of this stuff, Wembley Park, and around some railroad lines, which that's actually interesting. I think that it's actually the result of a farmer and a goat having sex. Now, I can understand why he's mad. I can kind of understand why he's living in a railroad trestle. But, this old boy, I mean, let's skip this. Let's just go to the one in Maryland, because he's got a little bit more things that I can't get in trouble over. So, we won't talk about the one in London. I would suggest that all of y'all look it up, do some studies on these things, even after I talk to you about them. There's lots more information than what I'm giving you. I'm only giving you 30 minutes of information to most right now. And there is tons and tons and tons of information on the internet. Don't believe it all, because some of it's a little, pardon my language, but wonky. Now, the one in Maryland, this is the one I actually got a real kick out of, and I could actually lean towards believing this one. This thing it goes back to the 1950s. They've had lots and lots of sightings since the 1950s all the way up to now. I mean, we're talking, this thing it's half man, half goat. Attacks you in the woods. That's like all the rest of them. It lives out in the woods. This one has got me more believable, and let me tell you why. Let me give you a little bit of background on this guy. Now, from the story about this Goatman in Maryland, it actually begins in Belksville Research Agricultural Center in Maryland. Now, to me, that grabs my attention. It's a research agricultural center, and this is the Goatman. Kind of goes together, you know what I'm saying? And so the scientist at the facility named Stephen Fletcher was working on a ill-fated experiment where he mixed DNA of his assistant with the DNA of a goat. And wait, what happens? Something went wrong. Yes, ladies and gentlemen, something went wrong with the experiment that was never supposed to happen. They created a Goatman, from what it says. Okay? This is gene splicing gone wrong. This is why we don't want to have the gene splicing. Okay? I don't know about you, but I don't want to meet people that's mixed with grizzly bear and they having a bad day. That's just me. Well, this one's a Goatman mixed in the laboratory by science. And to beat that, this goat humanoid hybrid, not only does it have horns and clove hooves, but it carries an axe. That's all we need. A really upset science assistant that's part goat and mad and has an axe. That's just not going to make it in on a good day. This thing has been terrorizing parts of Fletchertown Road. It's just outside the city limits of a place called Bowie. Well, this Goatman is believed to live in a cave under a metal bridge. Which, if I was a goat man, I'd probably live in a cage too. But I don't know. It's just, and the picture of this guy, I wish you could see it. It looks it's a human body. Okay, has a goat's head, muscular human body, has long fingers, and has hooved feet with big horns on the top. And they first mentioned this thing in 1971 in the Prince George County News. And they've got a picture here, and to me, it gives me the willies, to be real honest with you. I mean, to me, it looks like something. Have you ever seen those satanic symbols of the horned goat, like it's supposed to be like Satan? Well, that's what this thing looks like. And it's talking about here, it says it prefers to terrorize young lovers, hikers, and dogs. Well, I can see why it would be pissed off at dogs, because it's a goat, it's dogs. Okay, goats and dogs, 9 times out of 10, do not get along well. We'll leave that at that. There's been lots of unresolved disappearances happen in this area, and the police can't find any evidence, which makes it more believable that this thing exists, because there's no evidence, but you have this thing in theory out running around killing people. And to me, if there's a Goatman out there, I really don't want to have nothing to do with him. They've been having searches, they've had sightings of this thing. And there's some dude, I can't even pronounce his last name, so I'm not even going to try. But they went out with a bunch of teenagers, and they decided to go hunt the Goatman. Okay? So these kids and this guy, they went out and they went to get the Goatman. Well, he didn't really believe in the Goatman. He was just going out with the kids. I don't know if it was just something to do or not, but he didn't believe in it. Well, they found it. This thing attacked them, and I think it actually, according to this, they actually saw it. They actually seen this Goatman, and it attacked them, but they were able to get away from it. Even the guy even said he didn't believe in it until he seen it, and they barely escaped. But they have equated 14 murders of hikers to this Goatman, and the murders happened between 1957 and 1962. When the lead suspect is a Goatman, you gotta kind of wonder, if this thing is real or not. Why would the police even entertain this if it didn't have something to do with reality? Because all they're going to do is make themselves look stupid. Well, apparently there's been a new cluster of sightings in 2015. Different people they've gone on Twitter and they've reported seeing this thing. They talk about this thing, and it's just everywhere. When you're walking through the woods and you hear something, you look back and there's a 7-foot Goatman there with an axe, you better get it in gear. If not, you're going to get got. This creature has been roaming for a while. What I don't understand, okay, now, I'm a simple guy. I know what I believe, I know what I've seen. But why would you have, even if one of these is a hoax, or maybe all of them is a hoax, but why would you have the report of the same type of character, same kind of evil creature in 4 states and overseas? There's got to be something out there. The question is, who is doing the investigating and what are they finding? Are they actually finding anything, or is this one of these cover-ups to where they actually don't want you to know what's out there? For human beings what we do when we get a scare or we get something in our heads. The thing about humans are, if it's true and enough of us believe it's true, we're going to find it and we're going to bring it out. I think that's one reason why they've been keeping stuff like Goatman down, not letting everybody know, everybody thinking it's just nothing more than a urban legend or Bigfoot or all this stuff. I think the reason they keep all this down is because they don't want people going out and going after these things. But if we don't go out and find out what they are, we don't have to kill them, but we need to find out what's real and what's not real. We've got to be able to take precautions to protect ourselves. If these creatures are out there, or like that one story, if people are doing things like they shouldn't be, like DNA splicing, then we need to be aware of this. A population that is informed is a population that is more in charge of their destiny. If you've got a government or you've got a group of people that's trying to keep the information away from you, they're hurting us more than they're helping us. Just like say UFOs, for example. If UFOs are actually landing, which yes, I do believe that they are because of stuff I've seen, but if they're landing and we're not prepared when they get here, what's going to happen? If Bigfoot is real, how are we going to protect something that's not real? If he's real, he can be protected. If Goatman's real, apparently he's a murderer, we need to go ahead and get him off the street to begin with. But in my opinion, now I'm a simple guy, like I said, my opinion don't mean a lot, but I believe we need to have more information on these creatures. We need to be able to go out, find these things, get true photographic evidence, not something that somebody can go, oh look, this has been photoshopped, and then pull it up and show you where it's been photoshopped. We need true investigators out there in the world to find these things. We need true pictures, we need true recordings, we need everything. Now, you know me, you know what I believe. And you know, I'm going to be going out on some investigations for ghosts and other things with some friends of mine. I'm connected in with a group called Bigfoot 911, which is close. It's on Facebook and it's close to my home. I'm going to be working with a guy named Joshua P. Warren. He's a great guy. He does a lot of the paranormal stuff. I'm going to try to hook up with him and go do some investigations. When I get the information, I will bring it to you. Now, what I want from you is if you have any stories you'd like me to research and bring to you, if you have any questions about anything I've gone over, if you just want to give me your feedback, which I would love to get your feedback, go to george@wbuz.com. You can send an email to me there. Well, I'll be more than happy to respond to you if you respond to me. So let's get together. Let's go out here. Let's get these investigations done. Let's go out here and get these photos. Let's get the information we need to help each other out. And if you truly believe in this stuff, like I said, as I do, then let's take and move you to the front where people are going, oh, you're crazy, and let's show them. Let's show people out there that this stuff is real. Let's go out there and let's get the photographic evidence. Let's go out there and let's collect samples. But don't go alone. Never go on an investigation by yourself. It's not safe. If you're just walking around the woods at night or during the day by yourself and you fall and break your leg in some of these places, you're going to die. Not to mention snakes, not to mention spiders or anything else that can bite you and get you poisoned where you can't get out. Always take someone with you. So, my call to you. First, George@wbuz95.com. Send me feedback, send me information, send me stories you want to hear. Right now I'm reading you stories I like, stories I want to let you know about. I want to know what you want to hear. what you want me to investigate, what you want me to pull up all the information I can on and bring to you. Second, if you got this stuff in your area and you're interested in it and you want to spread the word about it, check it out. Get pictures. Send them to me. I'll be more than happy to put them on the website. You send me any information, anything you want to talk to me about, I will not judge you, period. I'm not that kind of person, but I want everybody to get it together and let's do this. And remember, tonight's subject was the Goatman. Apparently he likes railroad trestles, so if you're out close to the railroad tracks at night, you better keep an eye out for that Goatman, because he's probably going to have an axe. Be careful, and good night.